wonderful view of your family, and they are amazing. I will have to tell you, you are boring some of them to death. But in any event, that's probably a good thing. You know, you and I shared the Financial Services Committee together, and we did a field. I came to Wisconsin with you and did a field hearing and enjoyed it. So I thank you for serving. The surface transportation authorization expires on September 30th, 2026. As you know, these are complicated, very large bill. I chair the Environment and Public Works Committee, where we are already beginning the bill development process by reviewing existing programs and policies. And we're going to be working, obviously, with this committee with Chairman Cruz and also Ranking Member Cantwell to make sure we're coordinated here. Can you please commit to supporting us because we're going to need comprehensive technical assistance to develop this correctly, and describe how you would ensure that we get the necessary technical assistance as we're developing this bill?
Yeah, first, if I could thank you again. When you came to Wisconsin, we were in Wausau, Wisconsin. You saw some of the finer offerings that we have in our state, so I do appreciate that, and it's been a pleasure to meet with you and work with you in your capacity on the committee. But I will direct the department to provide all necessary technical assistance to the Congress, and we'll fully work with this committee as we work through that process, as well as with the administration.
So in the bill that we're working under now, in the IJA, there were two specific areas, and well, there was a lot of creation of some discretionary programs. You and I talked about this. Some of them haven't even really been rolled out. The rules and regulations, you know, we're over 3 years past that bill signing, and it is my hope that you would commit to reviewing and updating as necessary what this Biden administration, they've really dragged their heels on this thing, the benefit cost analysis guidance that they have put forward, and make sure that we are looking at the vital role that bridges and roads play in connecting rural areas like mine and states like yours.
Yes, absolutely, Senator.
Thank you. One of the other things in the bill is a thing called one federal decision. It was supposed to help with ease of permitting. It was supposed to put one particular agency in charge, and maybe the Corps, Fish and Wildlife, and others would go up to the Federal Highway Administration. I can't get an accurate reading as to whether this is working or not. I can't get an accurate reading of whether these other agencies are abiding by this. It makes good common sense. We've all talked about project delivery and how things can go quicker. I don't know how familiar you are with the one federal decision process. Are you familiar with it? And will you please take a look at it to make sure the desires that we had initially are actually being met in the end? Should
I be confirmed, I'll become more familiar with it. And I think it makes a lot of sense. And I think it goes to the point of bipartisanship in this committee, but also in the body as a whole, of figuring out how we can streamline this process and, again, be responsible, but also move projects. So I would work with you on that, and I'll report back on what I find.
You know, the model for that has been used in some energy projects, and hoping that what we've done in transportation can translate into other project development. Permitting goes into this as well, but it just hasn't met the expectations. Yes. So we need to work on that. I know safety, you mentioned that would be what your legacy would be, and we've talked a lot about safety of away from drunk driving and disasters and everything. One of the things that's been occurring in our state, and I actually talked to somebody about this yesterday, is workplace safety. When somebody's working on the highways, we've had some tragic accidents where people are just blowing into workers, killing them in some instances. Maryland had a terrible accident. I think this is we need to look at best practices here to see where we can make drivers more aware when they enter a work zone. They're really entering a work zone where people are putting their lives in danger. So I would encourage you, I don't know if you have any thoughts on that in terms of keeping our highway workers or construction workers safe while they're out there, sometimes in the middle of the night.
I think that's a really important point. I'll look at the data, and I'd love to partner with you to figure out what we can do to make sure that those who, again, are just doing the work of building great roads in America, right, aren't losing their lives because of inattentive or reckless drivers.
Yeah. And lastly, I would say that the rail safety, the East Palestine accident occurred 7 miles from West Virginia. A lot of the emergency responders who responded to that were volunteer firefighters from my state. Obviously, everybody's going to, I mean, everybody pitched in to help there. But I do think there are things that we can working with the industry, working with others, the union and everybody to make sure that our rails are as safe as they possibly can be as they move the goods and the people throughout the country. So I want to work with you on that as well.
I would welcome that, and also just, I mean, even knowing what hazardous materials are on trains and
Right.
communities knowing so they can prepare should there be an accident, I think would go a long way to making sure we don't have the scenario that we had in East Palestine.
Right. I think one of the aftermaths of that has been some training, additional training, so that this, you know, they know the materials, they know what the best way to handle it is. So we have made strides there. We just need to continue that, and it's
Yes.
really good to see you again.
You as well. Thank you,
Thanks.
Senator.